Trying to describe Al Ordway in one word is nigh on to impossible. I would choose the word massive, larger than life.
I would say understanding, leadership, kindness, role model.
He was always very calm, cool, and collected. People believed him, they trusted him. When he spoke, people listened and respected Al very much.
Al Ordway is an iconic person. He is a man of action, enthusiasm, tremendous intelligence.
He resonates a quiet presence that is all-pervasive. He's humble and yet confident. You know, the word I would describe him is awesome.
Interestingly enough, we rarely saw each other in the summertime. We were 5 miles apart, but taking care of business. I think I got to know Al best in the wintertime when we were very dependent on doing some planning together. Way before the day and age of GPS, we were, lost in neighborhoods and going over ravines and down parkways the wrong way. And it's amazing. He could always drive directly to a sushi spot, the best one in the town or in the area. But I was with him once on a ski trip with some camp directors. He was a fantastic skier. And I was a good skier, but found myself, at the top of a bowl that looked like a triple black diamond, and it had iced over a little bit. And I thought, oh, wow, how am I going to make this across? And Al led the way, and there was something about the comfort level, having him say, come on, Carol, we'll make this together. And I think that's a message that got through to the people at camp also, that he could lead and make people feel comfortable and worthy and continue on with the journey.
We all share this common experience, and he was, the leader of that experience. He led us through our childhood, he led us through young adulthood, and he led us into later adulthood, and he did that for many of us. Al is all about second chances. I think back to when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, and those calm moments with Al where he would steer you back onto the path. Here's what's happened, and here's what we have to talk about, and how could we have done that differently? I learned a ton. He never raised his voice. It was always the kind hand on the shoulder. He cared about you as a person. I wouldn't be an educator today if it weren't for him. I am who I am because of Al.
Al and I go back when we were kids, young kids, growing up together. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I will. I had a place on Long Lake I bought right after college because he had this folks' place on Moose Pond, and it was sort of party time between his place and my place. One night, we stayed up a little longer than normal, and at the time, Carling's Black Label was the big beer, and going into Al's cottage was a big snowbank, and everybody put their beer in the snowbank, and somebody took a picture of it, and it was a great picture of a lot of beers being cooled in the snowbank. But we had a lot of fun together. We did a lot of skiing together. We spent a lot of time together. And you have a number of friends in life, but you have a few what you call very close friends, and Al was one of those type friends. We just had a special relationship that lasted for forever.
I met Al for the first time when I came to Gould as a Gaume freshman from East Boothbay. Down in the lower field I went, and that's when I noticed Al, big, tall, wide shoulders, playing left tackle if memory serves. We were both in the Navy together, and both in the Pineapple Fleet, home ported in Pearl Harbor. Lots of sea stories from both of us, laced with nautical language that drove Bill Clough nuts. but he begrudgingly learned a good deal of the vernacular, which came in handy when the three of us met with a major gift prospect in Chicago for the first time. There we were, sitting down in this fellow's office, and this gentleman had served in the same destroyer squadron in Hawaii at the very same time, but yet had never met each other. So suffice it to say, Al and he had a great conversation about their experiences, while Bill and I sat there marveling at the great rapport which we could see growing. It surely had something to do with the $150,000 gift that later ensued. Anything for Gould was Al's mantra. If you said those words in a group of people who had Gould affiliations, everyone would know the source of those words. From making Winona accessible to scores of Gould students over the years, to agreeing to go out in the frigid Maine woods in February with a small group of Gould parents, Al again and again showed all of us what loving Gould Academy was all about.
I remember watching one day when he and Bill Clough were sitting at the head of the table. Very quickly, the concept of a renewed partnership between Gould Academy and Sunday River was on the table and being greeted with enthusiasm, and suddenly the new era of Gould and Sunday River's partnership was launched. I think Al was taken aback, perhaps even overwhelmed at the thought that the school wanted to name a building for him. The building of Ordway Hall was the first new construction on the Gould campus since the 1970s. For the first time, the entire school community could gather as one, even if we didn't have a building named for Al. Al is a Gould Academy icon, and his name, the memory of Al will be there forever. And I'm very proud that he was persuaded to allow his family name to be placed on that building.
You're not with him more than a minute and you realize this guy really has something. And that was true the minute I met him when we were both young men back in the late 60s. When he bought the camp, a lot of us didn't even think the camp was going to be purchased. It was going to end up as real estate. He invited us to kind of meet him. You know, he ran the Stack 'em Inn across the lake at the time. And it just took that moment to say, we want to be back. We want to be part of this thing to make camp go. It really has thrived under him. He was an amazing presence. I think the most important thing is that Al lets everybody be the best they can be. And there's magic to that. I don't know how he does it. You aren't going to see this right at first and understand how he does it. He just does. You know, I miss him every day.